Welcome back, everybody. This is I forget what episode, but we're going to be doing a week 6 recap of Amateur Hour. Or I guess that's the name of the podcast. This is the shittiest introduction you could ever have to a podcast. But for a guy that doesn't need an introduction, we have a very special guest today. Doesn't need an intro, but I'm going to give him one anyways. He's a very special guest. He's been featured on 2 episodes in the past and last season. This is his first time coming on this season. Not an authentic appearance. He hasn't won shit this year, just like me. But we're gonna have him on because he's filling in for John Opheim, who's cruising around Europe right now. The man, the myth, the legend, Jake Sepka. Welcome aboard, dude.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Dave. And I like that you mentioned that I'm not on here for real purposes. It's just, I wasn't even close to winning any week so far. You know what I'm saying? It's just been an absolute bloodbath for my picks. So I'm basically just filling in here, but I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I actually, to give you credit, I was looking at the rankings from last week, and you finished only 20 points behind the winner. I don't know what total. You probably were tied for 15th with all the other 40 jerk offs in our league, but you did pretty well this week, and you didn't even pick the Thursday night game. So you had a good week. You finished with 90 points, 20 points behind the winner. So you should pat yourself on the back on that one.
Thank you, and I hope you guys are proud of me because I actually put my picks in this year because last year was a 50-50 shot, when I put my picks in. Basically just burning money, throwing money in the dumpster fire every week. But now I'm actually trying, and now that I'm actually trying, I'm even worse than I was last year. So I don't know how that works. I mean, I think it's funny how you are absolutely dead last.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, I was about to say I'm second last in the whole league. So the guy that co-hosts a podcast talking about the league and talking about picks is second to last in the whole league.
Yeah, I love how you're giving your picks and you're giving your fantasy advice and stuff and then giving us your picks, and you're the worst picker of all time. I like to note that you're in the fantasy league, the fantasy league we're in, you're dead last too.
I'm 0-6. 0-6 in the fantasy league that you and I are in together. I'm 40-53 in our pick'em league, second to last overall. And John, my co-host, is 23rd out of 26, so he's right down there with me.
You guys suck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a brutal year overall. You're 17th, you're 47-42, which, hey, above 500, so that's a good thing.
That's right. You got that right. And I want to make something known. It's really kind of I've noticed something in our league. It's like some people are just really, really good at picking, and it's kind of almost like what are you even doing? Like, if you're this good at picking, if you're trying this hard, if you're really putting in the effort to do the research on the teams, it's like there's no place for that here, okay? If you spend more than 90 seconds picking your teams every week, you're trying way too hard.
Yeah, trying hard is for losers. Just close your eyes, pick the picks like me every single week, and see what happens.
Exactly. I'm on my lunch break, just looking at something else or thinking about how much I hate my job. I'm just scrolling, picking my picks.
Yeah.
I think they could win that. Whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Absolutely no research, which puts me in second to last overall. So maybe I should do some research, but then I think about it, doing research is lame.
It sucks. It's like research for the Pick'em League. I mean, maybe if I was an NFL, I'd be doing some research. But no, I'm I live here. I'm just living my life just like a normal guy. Like doing research, that's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah. Speaking of research, I don't know if this guy does a lot of research or not. It seems like he does. Shout out Evan Kochever. I mean, the tryhard of all tryhards, I guess. This guy, I looked earlier before this podcast because I want to give him a shout out. He's in first place by a long shot. He's up 6 games on the second place guy, Bill McDowell, and he is 14th in the country in the pick'em right now.
What?
Yeah. Evan Kochever is 14th in the whole country in the pick'em. He's 63-30.
What? That is
yeah.
63 and 30? This guy has to be cheating. Evan, you have to be cheating.
My picks are almost completely reversed. 40-53. He is 63-30.
What?
Yeah. This guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Absolutely ridiculous. And of course he's in our league, just dominating, taking my money every week. I might as well be writing my checks out to Evan Kochever, my work checks every week.
Yeah.
Saying, you're so good at picking your stupid teams. Here's all my money anyway.
You might as well go to HR next week and just start directing your direct deposit towards Evan Kochever's bank account because that's what it feels like.
Honestly, it's ridiculous. But that's hey, props to him though, because that I don't know if he's really lucky or just really good because you got to have a little bit of both to be 63 and 30. What is that like that's almost a 70% win percentage. That
Yeah,
is
bro. He's unbelievable at this thing. It's like so easy for him. It's unbelievable. 63 and 30. 63 divided by 93. 67.74% win percentage.
Sheesh. 2/3 of the time he's right.
Yeah. That's in comparison, I have a 43% win percentage.
Davy deficit's classic.
Davey Deficit strikes again. It's been a rough year for me for sure. So the problem is, I was looking at the board this week, Jake.
Yeah.
I see the board crystal clear this week.
No, you don't. You're the no. Okay, okay. Tell me about it.
So I decided, I think since I see it so clearly, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna drive over the border and put a couple bets in this week.
Oh
And
my.
we're gonna see where Davey Deficits really stands at the end of this weekend. I'm gonna put my entire account on NFL games this weekend.
That is certainly a bold move, Dave. And with your betting history, I'm not sure that's the smartest financial decision you make.
It's certainly not, but I haven't yet hired a financial advisor, so there's no one telling me not to do it besides you right now.
Yeah. I know, like, hired a financial advisor because they'd probably be appalled by your financial choices, especially the betting.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with financial advisor. I don't want them anywhere. Their filthy, grimy hands anywhere near my accounts. I don't want them to see what I'm spending money on. I don't want them to see anywhere near my shoe closet or anywhere near my liquor cabinet. They don't need to see any of that, bro.
Yeah, I can guarantee the first conversation is, why is 35% of your money going to sports betting? Why?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be like, just mind your own business. And they're like, it's literally my job to look at your finances.
You're like, you hired me to help you.
Yeah, I'd
You're
be
like,
like, all right, you're right. You're fired. Thanks for the advice. So I'm trying to look at the slate for last week. Are there any games that jumped out to you that surprised you?
last week, of course, that big Bears, our Bears, you know what I'm saying? The Bears, they had that lead, absolutely blew it.
You want to talk about the Bears?
Yeah, we might as well.
So for those of you that don't remember Jake from last season, or if you're just new to this season listening to the podcast, Jake's a big Bears fan, and if you haven't listened to any episodes so far, maybe you're Sepka's family members or something. I'm a diehard Bears fan as well. So, we've been really going through it this season. Obviously, we just covered the first 5 minutes of this podcast talking about how big of a loser I am this year. So, add the icing on the cake that I'm a diehard Bears fan, and it's just been a swift kick in the balls all season long. The Bears, got our hopes up after that Thursday night game against Washington. We were excited. We were going after it. We were coming back home to Chicago, Soldier Field against the Vikings, who are shitty this year. The Vikings are shitty, and so I was excited. I was like, this might be it. This might be the turning point for the Bears. We sewed on those little Dick Butkus patches on our jerseys. I was like, this is a team of destiny now. Dick Butkus is gonna carry us to the Super Bowl at this point. So the vibes were immaculate going into the week. And from kickoff to the end of the final whistle in the game, we just got abused. I mean, Justin Fields gets hurt, dislocates his hand. He's injured now, probably not going to play for the next few weeks. We're stuck with Tyson Baguette or whatever the hell his name is, Tyson Bagnett or Tyson whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was looking good. Like when he first came out, I don't know if you saw that. He was looking good. Remember,
yeah,
Tyson Baguette looks like Joe Montana out there for the Bears. He looks like he's out there going to lead us to the promised land, like a Tom Brady situation where he comes out of nowhere. Nobody really has ever heard about him, and then he leads us to victory. But it's just the Bears organization is just such a dumpster fire, Dave. It's just such an absolute nightmare. I mean, everywhere you look, it's like the coaches stink, the players stink, everybody stinks. I think number one, it's like the team is owned by a 95-year-old woman. She's not going to.
she's got to go. And by go, I mean she has to die because she's not selling the team obviously anytime soon. She's got to go.
Exactly. It's like watching Joe Biden, be the president. It's like
Yeah.
elder abuse. Watching.
Yeah. I feel like her and Joe Biden were like high school classmates, bro.
Probably they went to homecoming together.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, I've seen pictures of their homecoming pictures. I think they sat next to like Abraham Lincoln, bro, in social studies class. And you have her like her and her shitty kids and grandkids and probably great grandkids like basically calling the shots for the Bears. It's like the McCaskies are the worst owners, the worst owning family in the entire history of NFL football.
I know, and you think like one of them would be able to figure it out. It's like the son or the grandson or like the grandson's goldfish nephew or something like whoever's running the organization. It's like just figure it out. It's that hard to figure it out. I mean, it's been so bad.
I know.
Just
I know.
draft players. It's like I don't have to be a genius to draft some decent players. Like they could put you or me in the GM position on draft day, and we'd have a better draft than the last 10 years, the last like 50 years.
No questions asked. I would get in that war room, bro. I would solve all problems in one draft, probably. I could figure out a good coach to hire. It's not that hard. Stop hiring these random guys that have never coached before, never been head coaches before. We literally hired a guy a couple years ago from the CFL.
Yeah.
We are the laughing stock of the NFL, bro. We hired a guy from the Canadian Football League, and he was so booty cheeks. It's like it's not that hard. Get Eric Bieniemy on the phone. Say, hey, you've done a good job in Kansas City. You've done a good job in Washington. Why don't you come here and be our coach? Call John Harbaugh. Say, hey, you've had some NFL experience. You've had a lot of success in the NFL. Took a team to the Super Bowl. You've been great in college, but it's time for you to come back to the NFL. The Bears want you. He played for the Bears. Give him a nice offer that he can't refuse and pull him back to the NFL. See what happens. But instead, we get Matt Nagy to go in there after Mark Trestman and John Fox. And then after Matt Nagy screws up the whole system and they draft Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, then that's a total dumpster fire train wreck. Then you hire Matt Eberflus, who is the worst coach I have ever seen. This guy is a moron, bro. He's supposed to be a defensive minded coach, and our defense sucks so bad. It's putrid.
I know, and I thought like after they brought in, that they brought in some defensive help, and the linebackers, they brought those two guys in, Edwards and
Edmonds.
Yeah. I Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. I thought they'd be really, really good. I thought the Bears would hold it down. I don't know why they ever traded Roquan Smith. Like he's like one of the best linebackers in the league. They trade him, get rid of him. Our defensive line is as soft as pancakes.
It's the worst defensive line in the NFL.
It seriously is. And I'm not kidding. Like if you put on like 100 pounds, you could be the starting nose tackle and probably put up 5 to 10 sacks in the line. Because whoever they got out there right now, it's like you might as well just like crumple up a piece of paper and throw it at the offensive line of whoever we're playing. That's how bad it is. It's like, and the offensive line too is so bad. Justin Fields has no time to do anything. I'm still a believer in Justin Fields, kind of, I guess. But we'll see where that goes.
Are you slowly losing faith? It sounds like I can hear it in your voice.
It's been tough. It's been real tough, Dave, because
dude, that's an understatement.
The expectations were sky high. There's not really any excuses, I guess, from the quarterback standpoint, because this is what his third year, his fourth year. It's like, figure it out. Make some decent throws. And like when the offensive line is protecting, he's got some pretty good throws. Like him and DJ Moore have a great connection. They had. I mean, he almost caught 4 touchdowns that one game. If he didn't step out of bounds, like that would have been 4 touchdowns for DJ Moore that game.
And then the first half of the next game, they don't even look at him. Didn't even look his way. So that just shows how incompetent our offensive coordinator is, Luke Getsy, who his previous job was with the Packers. So I am 100% believing that guy came to the Bears to sabotage us, and it's working. We are ass, bro. We're 1-5. We definitely have a better roster than 1-5. I know that. And let's just say my future that I placed at the beginning of the year over 9.5 wins is not looking good.
No, I should have known as soon as you place that wager, the Bears are going to be the worst team in the league again.
I got
I mean,
over 9.5 and NFC North champions, bro. Neither one of those is gonna cash.
the thing is like before the season started, everybody thought that too. We're all like, "Oh, the Bears are going to be so sick this year." You know, we got a new GM, we got a new coach. Justin Fields is playing well. He's coming off a good year in the second half of last year. He's going to play well. I was right there with you. I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, I could see 13-4. You know, I could see 14-5.
Trust me, bro. I was on DraftKings. I was looking before the season. I was just like sitting in a parking lot in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I was just like, over under set 6.5 wins. I was like, I'm gonna slide this up to 9.5. I was like, let's make the odds a little bit tastier. There's no shot they win less than 10 games.
There's no way they even think about losing less than 10 games.
Next thing you know, they are 1-5 heading into week 7 against the Raiders.
I just don't even know what to do anymore. It's like, why even turn on the TV to watch them play? I know they're just gonna rip my heart out of my chest. They're gonna stomp it on the floor. I mean, like you said, the whole team is just quadruple butt cheeks. It's like we just can't even find any sort of redeeming grace or redeeming quality in any aspect of the team.
I know. Well, you know what the sickest, most disgusting part about being a Bears fan is? Every single week, I know what's gonna happen, but I still get excited to watch them, you know? Like I still like sit on the couch, I crack a beer, and I just get excited about like the possibility of watching my Bears. And I sit there and I watch as the game develops, bro. And it's just like the same story folding over and over again. Justin Fields drops back, he gets pressure, he gets sacked, or he throws it away and it gets picked, or he runs around and scrambles for his life and he gets hit and he fumbles, and the team recovers it and scores a touchdown. Back to back weeks with a fumble recovery touchdown, basically. That's what it feels like if you skip the Redskins game. That's unbelievable, bro. The amount of bad luck and bad fortune. And we deserve all that bad luck and bad fortune, bro, because we put together the worst team in NFL history. We have the worst GM. We have good players that don't know what to do once they touch field on Soldier Field and go to the Chicago Bears. They put on a Chicago Bears uniform and they just develop the most shitty qualities of all time in football players. I don't know what's going to happen to reverse this curse besides Virginia McCaskey dying, bro, because right now it's not looking good.
Yeah, I think we need to put the team up for a die. Like, what do you even do about that? Like, we're so, every day, I wake up and every Sunday I wake up and I'm like, blow it up. They're what they wanted. They're gonna enforce their will on the other team.
It's brutal, bro. It's brutal. I buy all this Bears shit for no reason. I spent hundreds of dollars on Bears merchandise for what? I told myself, I said, David, you're not buying any Bears stuff until they get a win. They were on a 14-game losing streak, and I said, why am I spending money on this organization? Stop spending money. Next thing you know, they play a good game against the Redskins. You know, a flash in the pan. They score
Yeah.
40 something points. Like you said, DJ Moore, 3 touchdowns. That same night, I bought a DJ Moore jersey, a Bears hoodie, and a Bears long sleeve. That's how much faith and how little self restraint that I have. You know, they give me the most glimmer of hope, and I grasp on and just grab on as hard as I possibly can just to go through the same suffering over and over the next week and the week after that.
And it's literally like it's like a Space Jam when the good players get all their mojo, get all their actual playing ability to get taken off of them. Like when you put a Bears jersey on, all of a sudden it doesn't matter how athletic you are, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter what team you played for in the past or what you've done. It's like a bunch of kindergartners running around out there.
You're right. You're exactly right. We're gonna see what Tyson Bagnet can bring to the table, bro, because Justin Fields is out. I hope not for an extended period of time. I don't know. I'm worried that they're just gonna tank now, and that scares me. That really scares me. How are you feeling? Have you paid much attention to like the draft and stuff? I'm gonna turn this sad music off. It's bumming me out. But that music basically just plays in my head while I watch Bears games at this point, and that's so depressing. You know?
Yeah, they're gonna have like Ryan Poles up there with the puppy eyes with in black and white with that song playing. Being like, if you know anything that will accept this man as the GM of your next team, please.
I know. All you have to do is donate 25 cents a day to the Chicago Bears organization and end fan misery. Like, we're spending money, that's the thing. Like, at least it's not like my Rays who don't spend money, we're spending money, we're trying, but then we just like can't put together a cohesive unit. We battle injuries every single year. Like, our best players get injured every single year. Like, I don't know. Do you think the Bears are gonna like just tank, or like the Panthers are probably gonna be shitty? So do you think we're just gonna draft like Caleb Williams or Drake May if we're up there, one or two?
I mean, yeah, I could see it the way the season is going. I mean, sure, Justin Fields had one good game, but he hasn't really proven that he's the guy. So, I mean, I guess you have to take the risk on Caleb Williams if he's, if the Bears have the number one pick, and they'll probably have at least another top 5 pick with the Panthers being so bad. It's like, how do you not take Caleb Williams or Drake May or Marvin Harrison Jr.? That's what I've been seeing is like our projection is like taking Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 2 top 5 picks. It's like we'll get both of those guys and we'll still be the worst team in the league.
I know. That's what I'm saying is like we're gonna add these players, and I guarantee you Caleb Williams is gonna suck for the Bears. Or something's gonna happen, bro. He's gonna get in like a car accident or something. Like something terrible is gonna happen to the Bears because that's just what happens to the Bears. And he's gonna go to the Bears, and hopefully he stays healthy and like he doesn't get in a car accident because that's bad vibes. I shouldn't have said that. But he's probably gonna not play very well. We'll probably get Drake May, and he's gonna be Mitch Trubisky 2.0. I don't want another North Carolina quarterback ever touching a Bears jersey. Like I just have too many bad experiences and bad feelings and bad memories from it. So I don't know. Like I am a Fields lover. I ride Fields. I've been watching him since he was in high school. Like if you know the show, have you heard of the show QB1 on Netflix? Yeah, you and I watched a little bit of QB1 when we were roommates, I think. Like Justin Fields was featured in that show. I've been watching him since literally high school. So like you will not find a bigger Fields guy than me. So I just hope that like it works out. And if you think about it, if it did work out with Fields and you could use those 2 top 5 picks on like something else, like Marvin Harrison Jr. and like a offensive lineman, like that's way better for the team overall than having to restart at quarterback. But I guess you could make the argument that like contract wise, like you're gonna have to pay Fields soon. It's his 3rd year, so he's coming up on his contract. And like, do you want to pay Fields right now? Because like I
No,
would, but like I don't know if I would if I was anybody else on this planet.
no, there's no way you would pay Fields. Why would you? Why would you even think about paying Justin Fields? I mean, what he's going to
Off
ask for 30 million a year or something like that? Something crazy.
off of hope alone. That's the only reason I pay him is hope alone.
You have more hope than me, Dave, because like oh yeah, did you see that Caleb Williams wants like a partial ownership in the team that he gets drafted by?
Yeah, he's gonna have to pry that out of Virginia McCaskey's cold, dead, wrinkly,
And
dusty hands.
dusty, crusty hands out of the cap, be there, just
Yeah.
messing. I don't know who he thinks he is. He hasn't thrown a single pass in the NFL, and he thinks he's Tom Brady. Like he's gonna partially own a major NFL franchise.
I know.
What?
I agree. I think like when I was seeing that stuff, I was just like, how about, I know you have a lot of hype, but how about you go out and see if you can perform first? It's like, let's not jump to these 'cause, like that's the age of the NIL, bro. They want their like bag and their money and their prizes and their cash and their love before they've earned it. I think all this NIL stuff should be incentive based.
Oh, like you have to throw this many touchdowns or you have to win this many games to get your money.
Yeah, so a lot of bench warmers like me won't get a lot of that love, but like you could have a base NIL thing, and then you could have all these like millions and millions of dollars are incentive based. So like these guys aren't just getting paid, and then they just end up doing jack shit or like don't even play.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, a lot of those NIL or a lot of those like prominent college players are getting paid more than like rookie NFL contracts.
Yeah, they are. So like that's why Caleb Williams is threatening to stay. He's like, why would I go to the Bears when they're the worst organization of all time when I can stay at USC, live in Southern California, get any women I want, drive whatever car I want, have millions in my bank account, and just sling it around against like Big Ten defenses next year. Like he'll probably want to play in the Big Ten. That's gonna be sick. So he's like, I have no pressure to go to the NFL because I'm making millions already. Like rewind a couple years, people were like, I got to go to the league now so I can start like helping out my family. But he's already got that covered.
I know, and it's gonna be such a slap in the face when the Bears have the number one pick and he declines and stays in college, and then the next year he's like plays at Northwestern or something. So every Chicago Bears fan gets to see him just absolutely put up like 8 touchdowns, just throw crazy stats.
The thing that I'm most terrified of is if Caleb Williams, we get the number one overall pick. He says he makes it very clear that I'm not going to play for the Bears, but the Bears like say we got to pick him. We can't pass up on him. They pick him, and he refuses to play. And then we wasted the number one overall pick on a guy that doesn't even want to play for us. That's my deepest fear right now.
Could that even happen? Like if he gets drafted, could he say no and just be like, I'm going back to college?
I don't think you can go back to college, but you could probably refuse to play. But then what? You can't just like sign with another team, I don't think. I guess you could demand a trade, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, I guess, but that would be the most Bears situation ever. And have Justin Fields on the roster, who he just drafted Caleb Williams over, and then he refuses to play. And they had to convince Justin to stay and actually play.
Yeah, we'll end up having our 2024 starters are going to be Tyson Chicken Tenders, bro. Just watch.
Yeah.
Tyson Baguette, bro, is going to be our starter in 2024, or Nathan Peterman, and that's where we're going to be as a franchise because that's what we deserve as a franchise.
Yeah, I mean, what can you even say? What can you really say about the team besides it's the worst team in the league? And then what? Oh yeah, what happened to the defensive coordinator? Like, remember how he under unforeseen circumstances? Like, what happened? Did he kill his wife and kids? Like, what happened? You know?
I'm pretty sure he might have beat his wife. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them trying to like cover that up and be hush about it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't want to throw accusations out there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he beat his wife, bro. So that's not good. He doesn't deserve to coach in the NFL ever again. So good riddance, Alan Williams. But like we have Matt Eberflus, who's supposed to be this defensive guy, and our defense blows. So I thought when this Alan Williams guy like left, I thought it'd be a good thing for our franchise because I was like, oh, Eberflus can take over the defense. Like now it's Eberflus time. Next thing you know, he was cheeks.
He still is cheeks. He's cheeks to this day. To this day, bro. It's like
he's such a wrinkly, nasty, like creepy. Like doesn't Matt Eberflus look like a mad scientist or something, bro?
Yeah, like he looks like he's about to pull out like a flask and start cooking something on the sidelines.
Yeah, I want like a badass looking dude, like a Dan Campbell or like a Sean McDermott or like a Mike Vrabel, or I want just like this super fat guy, like a Rex Ryan or an Andy Reid. Give me somebody fat or intimidating, not these skinny Mark Trestman, Matt Eberflus, John Fox, Matt Nagy, creepy, dusty, middle-aged weirdos, bro.
Wow, you summed it up perfectly right there. But like, yeah, we need someone who's at least 300 pounds to coach the Bears. I mean,
yeah, because mass alone is intimidating. So if we have some guy just waddling to midfield to shake hands at the end of games, that's going to create wins automatically, just off intimidation alone.
It exudes confidence. You know, he takes us around. He probably has a real deep voice. You know, gets the boys going a little bit.
Yeah, because you know what you see when you look across the sideline and you see like a 350-pound head coach, you say, that's a tough team. And we're not going to be able to run the ball on this guy. He's not going to allow it.
No way. You're going to be this guy played 10 years in the league. You know what I'm saying?
These guys are going to be tough in the trenches.
Yeah. Yeah, and I seem like that should be a big focus for the Bears, like the trenches. They need someone who knows what they're doing on the offensive line and defensive line, because I feel like that's how you build a team. You have to. I mean, your skill players like QB, wide receiver, running back, whatever, they have no chance if you don't have an offensive line that can pass block and run block.
Did you see the clip, the clip of the Bears game this week when Cody Whitehair literally was blocking our own offensive guard?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the most pathetic clip I've ever seen in my whole life.
Like, do you not have eyes? How do you not see him right there? He's wearing your jersey. Like you're right next to him. Right next to him every snap.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was watching that. I was just like, this makes so much sense. Why every Bears quarterback gets sacked, every Bears quarterback gets hurt is because their offensive linemen are blocking each other instead of the defense.
Yeah, they're blocking each other. So we're paying these guys at least to block each other.
Let me ask you this. So you've been a Bears fan for a while, like me. When I think of Bears football, I think of kind of a couple different eras in my lifetime, at least. I think of like the early to mid 2000s, like when they made the Super Bowl run, we took pride in our defense, right? We were the monsters in the midway. We had a good defense. It flashed back to like the 85 Bears. We were intimidating. We held teams to like a lot of low scores. We had a ton of turnovers. Peanut Tillman, Lance Briggs, Urlacher, Mike Brown, these guys, legends, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nate Vasher. And then you look at like those teams always had shitty offenses, right? Rex Grossman, like people like that. We went through like 30 quarterbacks. And
Yeah. But
then
Mushin Muhammad.
Bernard Berrien, Rasheed Davis, like these were our like Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson. These were our best players on offense. Like we made it to a Super Bowl because of how good our defense was. But imagine if we just had like a decent offense, like we would have won the Super Bowl. And then you fast forward a couple years to like the Jay Cutler era, and then we have like Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Forte, Greg Olson. Our offense was sick.
It was
You know,
nice. It
it
was
was
nice.
nice. So our defense then turned into ass. Remember, our defense will give up like 30 points a game. So then I just think, and I was like, what era, if you could pick, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to go back to like where our offense is dominant and our defense sucks, or our defense is dominant and our offense sucks?
It has to be dominant defense. I mean, when you when I think about the Bears or like the good Bears teams, I automatically think of the defense. Like you mentioned, the '85 Bears when they went back in the mid 2000s when they were in the Super Bowl against the Colts. Like their defense carried them all the way there, and that's like that. I feel like that's just like the foundation of any Chicago Bears team is a good defense. Like I feel like we just don't have a chance if we have a good offense. If you put a decent offense in, it just doesn't feel the same as if you have a classic Chicago Bears defense. Like even that in 2017 when they made the playoffs and they lost that on the double doink. That defense is pretty good too. Like they had like a young Eddie Jackson.
It was really good.
If like they had the best defense in the league.
Khalil Mack, it was
Khalil Mack.
2018, and we were sick. We won the NFC North, but our offense sucked. We had Mitch Trubisky leading the way. He was either a rookie or I think his second year in the NFL, and our offense sucked. We lost that double doink game like 17-16. Like we couldn't even score, you know? We
So
deserved to lose that game. We couldn't score points. But like our defense was so good that we had a chance to like make a good run that year.
I know, but it was so frustrating too because it's like we can't win every game 10-7. Put some points on the board. It
Okay,
can't be
so
a couple touchdowns.
which brings me to my point is as far as a fan watching the games, I would rather have the explosive, incredible offense because it's more fun to watch. These games that we watch that our offense can't score a point, like that Kansas City Chiefs game this year when we were losing like 45-0 at halftime, that is so miserable to watch. Like our defense
Yeah.
getting shredded, so that it doesn't really apply to this like. But our defense getting shredded, and then our offense can't score a single point, can't even get first downs. Like that is so disappointing to watch. Do you think they'll ever have a Bears team in the next like 10 years that put it both together, like have a good defense and offense?
No way. Not as long as Cruella DeVille is still alive and running the show or owns
Yeah.
the team.
Do you think in our lifetimes we'll see a Super Bowl win? It's not looking good right now. I'll tell you that much.
I'd just be happy with the playoffs. Like if they made the wild card, I'd be happy right now. If they made the wild card once every 10 years, I'd be happy. Like
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you, brother.
they need to get a new stadium too, because Soldier Field is not it. Soldier Field is not it.
What's your beef with Soldier Field? I finally went to Soldier Field. I'd never been to a Bears game, but I went a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I bet that was nice.
It was nice, but they were up 28-7 at half and ended up losing.
Yeah, see, Navy deficit's curse.
Yeah.
And of course, you were in attendance for that game. The one game they play well in the first half, and then it all just slips through your fingers in the second half.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I couldn't like I've never had something where I believed how it was happening so much, but couldn't believe what was happening so much before in my life. Like I could not believe that they were pissing that game away, but then I just thought to myself, like, this makes way too much sense. Like this is Chicago Bears football, you know?
Yeah, get to watch it unfold before your very eyes.
Yeah, that's basically what it felt like. Uh, just talking about the Bears just drains me emotionally, you know?
I know I get like riled up, and get carried away and then just ends in disappointment. Like I don't even want to talk about them anymore. Like just what do we even
Yeah,
talk?
I'm done. I'm done talking about the Bears. I barely even want to talk about football anymore. Uh, do you have like a lock of the week or anything like that?
Oh yeah, Bills minus 8.5 against the Patriots.
Okay, why do you feel good about that?
And Patriots are butt cheeks. Major.
Yeah, that's big facts.
It's so good to see the Patriots suck. Like Bill Belichick and the Patriots organization just like taking loss after loss after loss. It just feels so good to watch. And like I feel like the Bill. It's kind of cliche to say this, but like the Bills are the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like they've looked all right. Like they look good, but they haven't looked great. But I feel like when New England's playing this bad, there's no way they're not going to win by 10 points, two touchdowns at least. Like so, that's why I feel so good about it. Is like Mac Jones stinks. I can't even name any of the wide receivers on the Patriots. Who do they even have? Like, can you? I
Like
can't.
their number one receiver, which is a huge concern, is like Kendrick Bourne. And then they have like Devontae Parker, who dropped like a pretty. The Mac Jones is bad, and I am a Mac Jones hater. But he put this dime of a deep ball into Devontae Parker's hands, dropped it. Then you have Juju Smith-Schuster, who they gave like $11 million a year for 3 years over this offseason. I think he played the first game and got injured. So like their wide receivers suck, like you said. Mac Jones is horrible. So like the Patriots are bad. So I agree with that pick. I like that pick.
Yeah.
My lock of the week, I was looking at the board. I could throw out 4 or 5 locks this week,
Oh
but
my god.
but
Don't even start with your four or five locks. When you said you saw the board crystal clear this week, I knew you're probably gonna be dead last again this week after that.
my lock of this week is going to be Detroit Lions going to the road against Baltimore. They're 3.5 point dogs. I got Detroit covering 3.5, maybe winning outright. Baltimore struggles at home. Baltimore's offense has been struggling. Speaking of bad receivers, their receivers drop everything that Lamar throws their way. I've been kind of wondering if Lamar has like a difficult spiral to catch or something, like if his throws is hard to catch because people always say he has shitty receivers. Well, this year he has some decent receivers and like they're dropping everything. So maybe Lamar's the problem. And the point is, the Ravens are good on defense, but the Lions have a really good offense this year. The Lions have been playing tough, whether on the road or at home. I think they're 5-1. And the Baltimore Ravens struggle at home sometimes, and they struggle to put points on the board this year. So I'm going to take Detroit to cover, maybe even sprinkle a little money line on it.
Oh, a little sprinkle action on the money line.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
I could see that too. The Lions have been, I mean, they've been building, for the last couple of years, and they look like a really solid team this year. Like, I could see them. I don't want to say like going far, like deep in the playoffs, but at least like winning the divisional game and maybe play, maybe doing something in the NFC Championship. I could see that easily from the Lions. But I don't know if they got what it takes to contend with the big boys up there. Because like, think about who they play in the NFC. They have to play like the Eagles or the 49ers or even like the Seahawks are pretty good. Like the Lions will probably beat them, but or the Cowboys too. They look all right. They've had some injuries, but that's a tough road to the Super Bowl in the NFC.
Not as tough as the AFC.
You don't think?
No, the AFC has the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Chargers. The Jets are decent. Probably going to get Aaron Rodgers back. The Bengals are shitty this year, but they're still the Bengals. They can be tough. Who else is good in it? The Bills. I forgot the Bills. Like the Bills are
Bills.
really good.
Yeah, I mean,
The Dolphins.
oh yeah, I forgot about the Dolphins.
Yeah, the AFC is tough.
The Dolphins are nice. They're real nice
Dolphins
this
are
year.
nice. Yeah, Dolphins are fun to watch.
Yeah. And speaking of like skinny, scrawny head coaches, like Mike McDaniel looks like he should be working at like an Einstein Bagels.
Mike McDaniel, he kind of looks like you, bro. He kind of reminds me of you when I see him out there with like his grimy little vape. He just reaches up at that picture of you just sucking on a jewel on the sideline. That's you.
Yeah, I'm up there just like talking and like, oh, dude, did you hear that clip of him like talking to being like, Georgia's way better than Alabama, saying that like to Tua?
No, just shit talk.
Yeah, yeah. During the game, he's like, dude, like, Georgia is way better than Alabama. I don't know why you went there.
I like Mike McDaniel a lot. I love like the clips of him and stuff, and it's just so funny that like a guy like you is such a good NFL head coach.
Wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. Because it's not the physique; it's the mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Do you like do you like being featured on the podcast because the viewers can't tell that you're like 4'3"?
like, yeah. Do you like being on the podcast every week because they can't tell that you're 250 pounds, Dave?
Yeah, I like it. It's just shoulders up, baby. Shoulders up.
Shoulders up, exactly. See why I'm sitting right now? If
Yeah.
I was sitting up, they'd be like, "Why is he the same height as the fridge handle?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You must not use those top cabinets above the microwave. That's too much of a hazard.
No way. I got nothing up there. Those cabinets are
Uh, they're bare and empty, baby.
big.
All right. What else do you want to talk about football? Give me a quick fantasy stud of the week, and then I'm going to recap the picks from last week quick.
All right. I might have to go back on this, but my fantasy pick of the week is Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back for the Lions.
On the injury report, so
Yeah,
we're
no,
going to see
that's
what happens.
I was thinking about it earlier this week before he was on the injury report. I'm like, David Montgomery's out. He's been a beast, and Jahmyr Gibbs has shown flashes of like electricity on the field. Like he's looked so good on a couple of carries, and they just do not feed. Like originally that was like my lock of the week, but of course he gets injured, so I don't even. We'll see if he even plays this week. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a good pick. If he's healthy, I really like the pick. We mentioned earlier, but they go play the Ravens on the road. So Ravens have a pretty tough run defense, but I think he could really benefit you with that pick out of the backfield catching balls, just dump offs from Jared Goff. So we'll see if he plays. I'm gonna go. I kind of scrambled. I forgot to look this up, so I'm gonna go Joshua Palmer on the Chargers. They play the Chiefs, so it's gonna be a high scoring game, I think. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot on the Chargers, so I'm going to hope Joshua Palmer can squeak out a touchdown. A lot of volume, so that's going to be my pick this week.
You just, your bias towards Justin Herbert is just so unbelievable. Sometimes. Like I like how you just snuck in that when we were talking about the AFC. You're like the Chargers, like you just snuck them in there. They're not going to do anything.
The Jaguars, we forgot about the Jaguars.
They're not going to do anything either. Okay, Justin Herbert will never be the quarterback you want him to be, Dave. He's good. He's real good. But he's no Marcus Mariota. You know what I'm saying?
No, nobody has led me astray like Marcus Mariota has. Nobody has given me more faith and just unrelenting passion and love like Marcus Mariota has. As much as our fans know how much I love Justin Fields, I love Marcus Mariota probably 10 times as much as I love Justin Fields. And
Can you keep talking about your passionate love and how you didn't like to make passionate love to Marcus Mariota?
yeah, him and Herbert, man. I mean, it's just those Oregon Duck pro football quarterbacks just get me feeling different, bro.
You get you a little tingly down south.
Just give me a little tingly. Let's cover last week's picks soon, and then I'm down to just talk about something other than football for the rest of the podcast. Do you have to go to bed soon?
Wait, what time is it?
Like 11:20.
Probably in like 20 minutes.
All right, we got time then. We got time to BS a little bit. All right, so last week I had the Colts +4 at Jacksonville, so they did not even come close to covering. So that was a fat L. John had the Broncos +10.5 at the Chiefs. The Chiefs won by 11, so the Broncos didn't cover either. So both are L's, no matter if it was by 30 points or by 1 point. And then our guest, Evan Kochever, who's the king of the pick'em right now, he took an L too. So I think that's the amateur hour curse. He took the Eagles -6.5 at the Jets, and they did not cover. The Jets won outright. Huge upset in New Jersey. So big upset for the Jets. Big loss. We went 0-3 as a podcast, so that brings my record on the season to 2-4. And John's record to 2-4, and the guest to 2-3. So let's see how you do this week. John never texted me with a pick, so he's gonna have a gap week, and we'll see how that goes. But I gave myself the turd of the week. I've been trying to give out turds, so it's 3 turds to David, 3 turds to John after 6 weeks. We're dead even right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that the amateur hour curse passed on to Evan after hearing, after looking at your record anyway.
I know, but then the guy still slithered his way into first place again, even with the coming on the podcast and giving a lock that didn't hit.
It's unbelievable.
That's how unbelievable he is. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, all right. I mean, that's all I really need to talk about for football this week. I suck at fantasy. I suck at the pick 'em. My favorite NFL team sucks. So it's just kind of depressing times.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm right there with you with the pick 'em anyway. I'm right in the middle of the pack, but that doesn't mean I'm winning anything. So we'll see if I, win and get whatever first place gets, like $10 or whatever out of the pot.
Yeah. I'm $60 in the hole right now for this pick 'em league. So that means I'm gonna have to play big money bets this weekend and make all that back quick.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. You got to make
Why
it all back.
why waste time stretching it out over the year when you can just hammer some bets this weekend and make it all back?
100% of gamblers quit before they hit it big. So I think that you're so close to hitting it big. Like if you just keep gambling and gambling and gambling, eventually you're gonna hit it big, and then you're gonna look back one day and say, "Wow, I'm sure glad I just kept with it and kept gambling my money."
I'm on the precipice of hitting it big, I think. Have you seen that meme of the two guys that are digging like holes with pickaxes towards the diamonds?
Yeah,
And the guy that like got inches away from the diamonds, he gave up and quit. And then the guy that's just huffing and puffing his way there, he's gonna find those diamonds eventually because he's not quitting. And that's me. I'm the guy that's not quitting.
you're not quitting. You're gonna find those diamonds one day. You're inches away from the diamonds. I
I know. I can almost smell the diamonds. What's been happening with you? Anything exciting in your life going on lately or no?
No, not really. I mean, working a lot, like I mentioned earlier. Just living the pharmacy life.
Yeah.
Basically just. But other than that, I mean, it's getting cold out. I've been doing a lot of golfing earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like over the summer, I was trying to golf a lot. So I've been doing that, and the game has improved a little bit, maybe. We're shooting mid 90s now, so we'll see where that goes. But
That's good.
yeah, it's getting a little chilly out, so we'll see if how much longer that'll last, because it all resets next year. No matter how good I play, at the end of the year, it's all gonna reset next year.
I never thought I would see the day that you even break 100. So I'm impressed that you can do that, especially when Virginia McCaskey has a better drive than you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You could put a brick on a stick in her hands, and she probably hit it about 15 yards farther than me. So
Yeah, so good for you, man. Keep up the grind, keep going after it and getting better. Did I tell you my golf story?
yeah, sure.
So a couple weeks ago I was playing at this local course. It was like in the morning before I had to go to work. And I was coming up to the 17th hole, so it was a pretty successful first 16 holes. I was playing really well. I was shooting towards the lower end of my like average, and I'm going up to this hole. There's houses lining on the left and a street on the right. So I'm like, par four. I think I'm just gonna take an iron, maybe a 5 iron off the tee, just play it safe, hit it down the middle of the fairway, and go up and hit it again.
Yeah.
But then like the guy I was playing with, Scotty, he was just like, "Come on, man, just take driver. Like you'll be fine. Just hit a driver." And I'm like, "You're right. Life's too short. I'm gonna hit a driver. I'm not gonna lay up. Laying up is stupid." So I grabbed my driver. I grabbed the big stick out of the bag, the big driver that I spent lots of money on. I go up to tee my ball up. I swing away with full confidence, and I power hook it to the left.
Oh no.
Soaring to the left. It's like flying straight at this house, and we just sit there like this, like cringing, like waiting to hear the glass shatter. I just
Yeah.
hear it sounded like I hit like a deck, like a wooden deck, right? So I didn't hear any glass. I was like, bet. And then I was figuring like all these people are going to be at work anyways. It was like 10 in the morning, maybe 10:30 in the morning. So we drive our carts over. I'm not even going to look in this person's backyard. Like that's bad juju. I was going to toss a new ball down, play it from there, whatever. Next thing you know, this old lady about the age of Virginia McCaskey walks out and she's just like, "You broke my window."
No.
Yeah. And I was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "You broke my window," with like this raspy old lady voice.
Yeah.
And she's just waddling over, and I was just like, "Oh, I didn't hear any glass shatter. Are you sure it was me?" And she was just like, "It really startled me." So then I like felt bad. So like me and Scotty go up to her backyard to go talk to her, and I was just like, "I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry I startled you." Uh, Is there, anything I can do for you? And she was like, well, I'd like you to pay for the window. And I was like, you know, I was like, I was like,
You're
you
like,
know,
"Eee."
I was like, money's kind of tight right now, Jan. I was
After
like,
you
money's
just
kind
blasted a hole through a window, you're like,
yeah,
I don't think I can pay for that.
yeah. I know I felt so bad because I was like paying $60 to go play that course, and they know it. They have to know what the rates are there, it's not cheap. And she was just like, I would really like for you to pay for it. And I was just like, what's the standard practice? Is it like, am I liable? Like, this never happened to me before. Like, and she was just like, well, technically we can't make you pay. We would just like prefer you to pay kind of thing. And I was like,
What'd you
in my
do?
head, I'm thinking, you live on a golf course. Like, it's kind of your fault for living here, you know? You live 250
Oh,
yards down. You live 250 yards down the fairway, a little bit off to the left. Like, it's kind of your fault for living here.
it's kind of her fault for you blasting a shitty drive through the window too.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is like I felt bad because I was like I obviously didn't try to break their window. It's not like I was blacked out, like aiming 90 degrees to the left and just turbo blasted it into the neighborhood. Like I just hooked it a little bit. It hooked. It hit off the deck and just hit into the window. It didn't like explode through the window, and drill her in the back of the head. It like bounced on the deck. Like I heard it bouncing on the deck, but instead of just hitting the deck, it bounced and hit the window and like cracked it. It didn't like explode through it.
Oh, so it wasn't like completely shattered. It was just cracked.
Yeah, it was cracked, like, but it was like I was just like, can't you just throw like some duct tape up there, like some hot glue gun? I was like, I'll come back with a hot glue gun. We can see what we could do to fix this,
Yeah.
Jan. And she was like, well, my husband's at work. He would know better how to handle the situation. So why don't can I get your phone number and contact info and we'll get a hold of you? So number one in my head, I'm thinking, do I give this lady a fake number?
That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. Just write down any number.
I could have given her any combination of numbers. She would have never known. But then I was like, I shouldn't do that. Like, if this was my grandma, I would want her to be treated right. So I gave her my real number, and I gave her like once I started the number, she wasn't buying it right away. She must have thought I was a sleazeball because she was like, "Oh, what's that area code?" And I was just like, "It's Milwaukee. I'm from Wisconsin." And she was just like, "Oh, okay." So I gave her my number. I end up getting a call like later that day from her husband. He's this
Oh,
old guy. He's like, "Hey, this is I just let it go to voicemail because I was working, but he was like, "This is Mr. XYZ. You broke our window. I was wanting to communicate about how we handled the situation. I got an estimate. It's gonna be $340 or something like that." And I was just like,
$40.
first of all, how did you get an estimate in like a half hour? He called me like shortly after I finished my round. So he must know a window guy or something. But then I like eventually called him back after I decided what to do. And I was just like, yeah, sir, I cannot afford to pay $350 for this window.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, I really want to help you out because I feel terrible about doing it. But like, I also think like maybe we should split it because like you live on a golf course. So like you kind of assume some of the risk. And
You should-
he was like, yeah, fair enough. So I ended up just like writing a check for half and mailed it to him.
Okay. I guess all's well that ends well. I mean, no harm done. I mean, you pay. That's a pretty decent, like $170 or something. That's a pretty decent price to pay for that window.
Yeah, bro, here's what I was thinking. Do I feel bad for not paying for the whole thing? Yes, obviously I feel bad. But at the same time, they live on a golf course. They assume some of the responsibility. He said this is not the first time it happened. And I could have easily like just been a scumbag and like drove away when she was in the backyard, like, you
Oh
broke
yeah,
my
yeah,
window. And then I also could have easily given him a fake number. And then I could have easily ignored every single call that he made to my phone?
yeah. There's so many opportunities where you could have just been like, "This is not my problem. I don't care." But you were nice enough to actually, pay it forward and actually pay for some of that. That's, at first when I started hearing this story, I thought there's no way David's paying for any of this. I'm like, he just slither his way out of this one easily somehow.
I thought about it, bro. Trust me, I thought about it. I talked to like every single one of my coworkers in the ER. I like threw the situation past them. Like they all know that I exploded this lady's window. And and I was just like, what would you do if you were me? And like it was so funny because like a third of the people were like, screw them, dude. They live on a golf course, they can pay for it. Then a third of the people were like, you should try to see if like they'll, talk to you, negotiate with them, see if you can split it. And then the other third were like, you should totally pay for the whole thing. Like you broke the window, you deserve to pay it. And I was just like, this was not helpful at all. I had like such a mixed bag. So then I had a couple people, shout out Erica Bethhauser. I talked to her about it. She was like, yeah, you should probably just like call the golf course and see if they have any like guidance on situations like this. I'm sure they've like dealt with it before. So I was like, that's a good idea. So I called the golf course before I called these people back. And I was just like, here's the situation. They want me to pay for the whole thing. It's like $350. Like, how do you guys deal with situations like this? And the guy was just like, we don't get involved. I was like, no, 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 you misunderstood. Like, I'm not asking you to get involved. I'm asking for like advice. He was like, yeah, like I said, we don't get involved. I was like, dude,
What?
I was like, you're a scumbag. Like, I'm not asking for your money. I'm not asking for your lawyers. I'm just asking for like a piece of advice. And he was just like, you want my advice, kid? You hit the window, you should pay for it. And I was just like, all right, dude, you're a dick. And I just hung up.
Jeez, that's crazy. I can't believe he said that. Like, this is obviously not the first time it's happened. Like, he has to. I bet he gets calls about like that every week. Like someone hit something, they like smacked it off someone who's standing in the backyard or something like that.
Yeah, you
I
would
need
think a
to.
lot.
Oh,
You would think a lot of people that like maybe if like the golfers call them, they probably say like, oh, we're not even gonna mess with it or deal with it. But I guarantee you, like you said, like homeowners are calling them and like saying, hey, someone hit my window and drove away, or like I was at work, I came home, my window was shattered. Like, how do you guys deal with this? And I'm sure number one, what also pissed me off about the situation, I'm sure the golf course probably has some sort of insurance to cover that. And I'm sure that the homeowners have a homeowners insurance to cover that. If you're going to live on a golf course 350 yards down the fairway, you probably have insurance to cover broken windows like that. But I think they didn't want to make a claim to have their rates go up, so they just tried to slither me into paying for it all.
wow. No, yeah, you changed my mind. Now they're the villain.
Yeah, they're the villain.
To their window, they deserve
Yeah,
that.
thank you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're the villain, not me. I'm
Oh
glad you're on
man.
my side, bro. I always knew you. I always knew you'd come around.
Yeah, don't worry. I've seen a couple of Davy hooks in my day. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
I've
I
been
thought about?
deep into the neighborhoods.
You know what I thought about right when it happened and after the fact? Grandview, it's like the fifth hole when
Yeah.
that long par four, and then you have the whole neighborhood on the left. I've blasted balls into the neighborhood there before.
I vividly remember, like I vividly remember you go up there smash one, and we're talking deep into the neighborhood. Like there's no way that's not hitting a house.
No shot.
No shot.
No
And just
shot.
being like, oh, whatever.
Moving on.
You're like, yeah, hey, it's your fault that you live 3 blocks away from a golf course. It's not my
Yeah.
fault that I live
Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't live a quarter mile away from a golf course. That's your fault.
there. Yeah. You
No,
got
but
the
this situation definitely felt like it wasn't all my fault. And I Googled it. The golfer is not liable. So I could have lawyered up, but like I called my boy Alex Alba and like he was like, I don't want to take this small claims case. He's like, I got bigger fish to fry. So I was just
yeah,
like, all right.
$100 dispute. You're like Judge Judy dispute. He doesn't want that.
I know nobody would want that case. So I was just like, let's just handle this internally. I don't want to pay for the whole window. Let's split it. And they let me split it. So shout out them. Shout out them.
Okay, fair enough.
You got any plans for Halloween weekend?
No, nothing right now.
Are you a Halloween guy?
Oh, I'm a big Halloween guy.
You think you're
Don't.
gonna go out, dress in a costume, and go out or something?
Oh yeah. We'll hit the town. We'll hit the town for sure. See what's going on. I don't know what my costume's gonna be. Last year I had to kind of pull it together last minute. I was a Christmas tree. Did I tell you that?
No. Did you wear your like green onesie?
Yeah, the green onesie, and then I got It was pretty. It was pretty creative actually. Of me actually, bro. I got like a bunch of like Christmas lights and like strung them around and like tinsel and strung them around my green onesie, and then got like a little like a star and glued it on the top of the hood. I'll send you some pictures. It was actually pretty funny.
That's probably a fire hazard.
Oh, definitely. I was drenched in sweat in that thing. Like
I bet the onesie can be hot.
that onesie's hot. And just imagine being in like a crowded bar with a onesie on. Just I was soaking. I'm in there like trying to talk to girls and stuff, and I'm just dripping in sweat.
That's disgusting. Imagine if you like went home with one of them and you just unzippered that filthy, musty, sweaty, dusty, filthy onesie, and then it's just like just poured out this aroma of filthy body odor, you know?
Yeah,
Ugh.
it just be like a tsunami of sweat just starts spilling out of like the zipper.
You have to wring it out.
Yeah,
It's just gushing wet like a ShamWow commercial.
yeah. Well, I
Are
felt
you,
like squid, bro.
are you a big like haunted house guy?
Nah, I never mess with those. I get scared, like scary. That's why you said like scary movies too. I don't watch those or like go to haunted houses because like I don't like that stuff. Like it's too spooky for me.
Have you ever been in a haunted house before?
Yeah, yeah. I've been in one, and it was one of those like out in the country, big shitty barn, where
Oh,
they bring up a bunch of like hay bales and they make little rooms and stuff, and they're like the people don't care too much about the rules or like what they do to you. So like I got traumatized a couple times. I'm in there and they're like beating on me and stuff.
you got to be a special breed to be one of those workers that work at those places, bro.
Yeah, that's for
Like
sure.
to just like cover yourself in makeup and like some filthy costume and just scream at people for like 4 straight hours in this dark like haunted house.
I know and like I don't know to like you like you're a grown man. You put makeup on, you put mascara on, you dress up as a clown, and then you wait to scare people with like a fake chainsaw. Like you should be in an insane asylum. You should not be
Yeah.
public.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Dude, we went to this I got dragged to go to this haunted house this past weekend. We went on this like haunted hayrack ride and then a haunted house.
Yeah,
And I just couldn't believe like the whole time, like I used to be really terrified of them, but now I just think it's like kind of funny. Like it's like these are people just like you and me, but they're like they have so many screws loose in their head, you know? So like there's like people like real human beings like crawling on the floor and shit and like this one lady like I almost assaulted her because she went up behind me and just like I looked and I kind of like laughed at her and then she screeched in my ear the loudest screech I've ever heard in my life, and it was terrifying. But at the same time, I was just like, this girl is a psycho, and I almost just threw one of those reflex bows, right in the
yeah.
back of the head. Like it was just natural. Like the scream, it just was natural. Like I had to stop myself halfway through, and I was just like, I cannot go to jail for assault right now in this child haunted house.
Yeah, it's like some 17-year-old girl you just put her in the hospital because you threw a reactionary elbow.
Yeah, you gotta really keep your arms on your side. You don't throw in like a reflex punch or elbow because like it's natural when people are popping out and screaming at you. You just want to like jolt at them and
Yeah,
defend yourself. Yeah, I
just
know. Like
bounce
I was
across.
the guns were locked and loaded, dude. The whole time we were walking through the house.
Yeah, did you have to sign like a liability form before you went in there or do anything like that?
No, it wasn't one of those because like they couldn't touch you, which was nice. Like they couldn't like which I knew. Like when you know they can't touch you, it's like they're powerless, really. So like those ones where you have to sign a form, like I was reading this thing, it's like apparently the scariest haunted house of all time. And like when you finish it, if you finish it, they give you like $20,000.
What?
Nobody's ever finished it. Like they legitimately like they waterboard you,
What?
they cut your hair, they
Oh,
tase you.
what? That's crazy.
It's legitimate torture. They like fill socks with bars of soap and just beat the shit out of you with them.
It's like a haunted house at Guantanamo Bay. What?
That's literally what it is, yeah. And if you finish it, you get 20 racks. Imagine how many bets I would win with 20 racks.
Oh, you gotta book a plane ticket out there and do that. That's got to be easy. Are you kidding me?
Bro, I could take a little bit of waterboarding and a couple tasers and a couple sprays of pepper spray. That's light work for 20
That's
grand.
nothing for 20 G's.
That would put like that would put like a tiny little dent in my student loans.
Yeah.
That would pay like 5% of my student loans. That would be nice.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Uncle Joe gets his share too.
Oh yeah, they'll take some taxes off. That's all. I'll be taking home a cool 15 racks. I'll just be completely bald. I'll lose both of my testicles, but that's light work, bro.
Exactly. You come home with a heart palpitation. You have to get a mechanical heart valve. But that's
Yeah.
just the name of the game.
People live with a pacemaker every day around you. Everyone does it.
Exactly. It's pretty. It's like cool to have a pacemaker. Especially if you're like 25 or whatever.
Yeah, it's a storyteller at every time you meet someone at a bar or something. It's an icebreaker. Hey, I got this pacemaker from this $20,000 I made at this haunted house.
Yeah, you can't go out through any metal detectors ever.
Yeah, I know.
You're at work. You're accidentally walking past like the where they do like this MRI scans, and all of a sudden their pacemaker just gets ripped out of your chest.
Yeah, yeah. You're just like, oh yeah, I forgot to put in the form that I had a pacemaker.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm just dead, just lying dead on the floor in a hospital. After my pacemaker got ripped out.
There's a baseball-sized hole in your chest, and you're just flatlined in the bed.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm the next Iron Man. They put like a microwave in my chest or something, and the next thing you know, I'm like the poor man's Iron Man. I'm like the homeless Iron Man. Like I'm just like beep 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 beep. Open up my microwave ass chest.
Yeah, it's like an air fryer they put in there or something.
Yeah, yeah. They put like a little ninja air fryer.
Yeah, they're like,
I
you
just
have an
like
option of what you want.
open up my drawer. I pour some cheese curds in there. I just heat up some
Yeah,
curds.
beep beep beep.
Yeah. Like, bro, do you have a superpower? It's like, no, I just don't have to leave the couch to make some chicken tenders.
Yeah. You're like, you want to see a magic trick? You got any frozen chicken tenders on you right now?
Yeah. That's basically what it would be like. It'd be incredible. That'd be the most incredible superpower of all time. All right, I feel like I gotta let you go. I'm sorry for ranting so long, but it's been an absolute pleasure and a blast. I'll have to timestamp the episode, so I'll tell people we discussed the Bears for the first 40 minutes. So skip
Yeah.
past that if you don't want to hear about the Bears, and then we discuss random things for the last 30 minutes. So if you want to hear about that, skip to that part.
Perfect. Yeah, we were
Abs-
great.
Absolutely nobody on the planet cares about our picks, so you can skip that part, obviously.
But if you want some winners, listen to the picks. You want some winners. What
I
is
know.
critical?
I'm tempted to just like text Evan Kochever and tell him and force him to give me some locks so I can go to DraftKings Sportsbook and make some money.
Yeah, you should fly out to California, just hang out and just like hold Jill Chambers hostage, and just be like, listen, I need some picks. I need some picks.
I'm gonna tell him money's tight. Money's tight. I owe money on a window. I'm in debt, critical debt. I got loan sharks coming after me, so I need some picks. I need some locks. But knowing my luck, he'd probably have the worst week after giving me his picks, and I would just lose all my money in my DraftKings account.
Yeah, I could see it. That would definitely that's something that would happen to you for sure.
All right. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Appreciate you setting aside some time to come on the episode this week. Go Bears this week. Big game against the Raiders. We got Tyson Baguette or Tyson Chicken Tenders, as some call him, leading the way for the Chicago Bears offense. So we're gonna see what the D2 prospect has to offer for the Bears fans. I'm almost positive it'll lead to more disappointment, but might as well tune in and see what happens.
You got that right. At least it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. I promise you that. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you tagging along for this a little bit longer amateur hour episode, but it's been an absolute blast, Sepka. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me on anytime.
Of course. Hopefully you come on soon with a real win.
Yeah. Fat chance. Fat chance. You had to get me in as a Make-A-Wish host here, so I appreciate that.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.